Hey everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and I actually wanted to get this out a couple days ago, but just it wasn't working out, and I recorded it like 4 times, and I still wasn't happy with it, and I'm going to try to make it fairly short, okay? So, you know me in documents, I like to see official documents. Well, many of you know that there's a guy named Jim Watkins who has been under attack by, various sources trying to get his website up and running. His old website was called 8chan, and this new one is the number 8 KUN. He's had no end of problems trying to get it up because it is a true free speech site, which means that it's not monitored. Of course, illegal stuff is dealt with, and that's the way that works. But with the other, it's free speech, true free speech. Nobody's going to be looking over your shoulder and telling you can't say that because it offends somebody. And we know that there's been an awful lot of that kind of stuff going on. So anyway, this is a document right here. I'll leave the link down below. This is a complaint against this guy named pro-Brennan. And it's because he has been going around on Twitter saying really nasty stuff about Jim and accusing him of being senile because he chose to wear a Q pin. And that, of course, means he's senile, right? Yeah, no, definitely not, unless I'm senile, which maybe I could be, but it's not because of Q. So I wanted to bring this to you. Even if you're not a Q fan, I understand totally this is really not about Q, although part of it is, but it's about free speech and your ability to have a site that is actually a true free speech platform that's not pretending to be a platform and is actually a publisher. Now, let me really give you a quick overview of those two concepts because this is very important in understanding how all this censorship is happening. There are 2 basic concepts here. A platform is like a forum, or it's supposed to be what Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and those things are, where they give you the platform and allow you to make the comments. Because of that, the people who create or implement the site are not able to be sued for what individual posters post. But that also means that they are not supposed to be censoring what is being put up, the posts and everything. Then there is the publisher. Well, just think of a book publisher as an example. Book publishers don't take every manuscript that's sent into them and publish it. They only publish books that they want to publish and books that they feel they can stand behind. Because if the author has said something in it that is, not right or whatever, they can be sued for that because they chose to publish that book. So you see, what's happening with a lot of these social media sites right now is they want to be both. They want to be able to censor people and to decide what is and isn't posted like a publisher, but they also want to play it being a platform and have that particular defense of not being able to be sued for what content people put up. So they're trying to play both sides. And this is presenting a huge problem because if they're one side or the other, it's just different rules. And they don't want to do that. They want their cake and eat it too, if you want an old cliche there. But anyway, this was a document that I don't know who put it up. It's on Scribd, but I don't know if it was Jim Watkins or who. But notice that this is redacted because this is his personal information. And over here it's redacted as well because that's his personal information. And as it goes down in this, you'll notice that all of the personal information has been redacted. So they're not being doxxed. And that's an important thing to remember. And it's not just for one person, it's for both. So keep that in mind. Now, I know this one's a little blurry and it's hard for you to see. So I am going to show you this one because it's easier to see, but I'm not going to show you the beginning of it because this was put out by pro-Brennan and the not nice guy doxed Jim Watkins. So I think that's really unfair, and I won't link to this one, but I think it's just crazy that he did that. He's just, that's really irritating. And this guy right here, he has a real vendetta out for Jim. I'm not going to read through all this. Basically, I'm just going to tell you that pro-Brennan was the person who created the 8chan website. In 2015, he sold it to Jim Watkins. And then for some reason, he worked with Jim Watkins for a while with Jim's company. And then it says here that they parted ways due to irreconcilable differences, and that was in 2018. Now, I will tell you that Brennan is not at all a fan of Q. And because of that, he said some pretty nasty stuff. So this is his whole complaint, is all about Jim Watkins wearing a Q pin to Congress when he had to go testify. He had a pin on that had the letter Q. All right. And he accused him of, well, either he knows Q is a LARP, but's wearing it to trick cultists. And notice that he calls all the people that believe in Q to be cultists into donating to him. Well, I will tell you one thing. Jim has said several times, don't send me money. Okay? He has told people, don't send me things. I don't want things. Please, no. So that's ridiculous right there. Plus, those who have been following Q know that there are an awful lot of proofs, like the one tonight, that showed that he's in conjunction with President Trump. Q posted and Trump tweeted, and it was just a matter of a few seconds between them. Try that with a friend sometime, okay? Have a friend and say, we're going to tweet at the same time and not be in the same room, and see how well that happens. Try it, because it's happened at least 100 times now. And it's come out within seconds of each other. So pretty difficult to do. Anyway, so this is his whole claim, that Jim is senile because he believes Q is real. So this is what he's been going on and on about. But the guy has put like a massive number of tweets on Twitter about Jim Watkins and saying nasty stuff about him. Plus, he's been going around to different server companies and he's been telling them not to host Jim's site. So it's been really interesting. I mean, every time they try to do something, he's had letter campaigns and stuff to do that. So anyway, I will leave the link to this down below. I'm not going to read through it, but basically that's what it says. And if you want to find out what's really going on, Ron is Jim's son, and his name's Code Monkey Z on Twitter. That's his handle. And he said, you know, we've been under sustained attack the past few days. I mean, it really got intense because they had their domains registered with 2 cows, and 2 cows would not allow them to host with them, but then they wouldn't release the domain name. And I guess it's supposed to be released on the 12th, which is when this is going to actually come out. It's the day after I'm recording it. But anyway, so they've been trying their best. Most people are not going to be able to view it at this point, but they may be able to after the 12th. So I don't know. But here is a good article. I'm just going to link to Ron's Twitter feed, and then you can pick up all these things. He doesn't post a whole lot, but these more recent ones are really good. This was kind of an interview with him where he got a chance to talk a little bit more about what they were doing behind the scenes. Now, I will tell you that most of these sources I'm going to give you are not real friendly toward 8chan in any way, shape, or form. And they put out a lot of things that are just not true about it. Because remember, they were accused of the El Paso shooter posting his manifesto on the 8chan boards. That was not true. The guy posted it on Instagram, which you've not heard anything about, and nobody's asking for Instagram to be taken down. That's where it was posted, and then someone took it off of there and posted it to the 8chan boards as research. I mean, so they could inform people of what was going on. Anyway, here's a good article by Neon Revolt about this indictment, and that's the legal document that I showed you. So, you know, you can look at that. You can see this one right here. This is by Centipede Nation. And that one is an interesting article too. And so right here he said, this was just yesterday, almost done setting something up. And is it wet yet is Jim's Twitter feed right here. And today he said resurrection because yes, they're back online. And Q has been posting like crazy today. So lots of stuff out there. And again, whether you are a follower of Q or not, this really is a matter for all of us because it's essentially free speech being stifled. And whether you like the forum or you don't like the forum, if it's going to be a free speech forum, it's a platform, it's not a publisher. So they're not monitoring what people post. And if you post something that's offensive to me, oh well, I'm going to have to get over it because that's part of free speech. Sometimes it happens. And there are limits, like for instance, the criminal complaint that Jim has put out is for libel and defamation of character, because it's not only that Frederick Brennan is expressing his opinions, but he is doing it in a way in order to take down Jim's livelihood, which has to do with these websites. So it's been really interesting and quite a battle for them. I feel really bad, but that's the way it works. So this one, you can see here that just by, pointing to 8kun, the domains were locked, and it's just crazy. Here's another article you can read, and here's another Neon Revolt, which is from today, because, yep, it has won. And Jim Watkins demands government investigation. So I think that's just about that particular, it's about this. So that's what's going on there. And again, I'll link to his Twitter feed too, because very interesting if you go down and you look at it. So very interesting there. And then this is the Neon Revolt article. And this is the newest one as of today, 11/11, which will be yesterday when you see this. This is a good article, and it kind of summarizes what's been going on. And then here's one that's the Daily Dot, and I'm going to tell you this is a negative one. This is actually positive for Brennan. Brennan would probably like this a lot. It takes his side. And so there's Jim. And you can go down and you can read about this. Again, this is more from his side. And Frederick Brennan is the one who created 8chan. Okay, he's the founder of it. But like I said, he sold it to Jim. So Jim now owns it. And I think there's just a lot of bad blood there. Frederick is not happy about that decision. So anyway, I wanted to show you that. Then I also wanted to show you this. Now, I'm not going to read this one. So if you are somebody who just listens to my voice, you may want to read this one, because I got this in my email just a couple days ago. And yeah, so I have one video that is now private, and I'm the only person who can see it. And it's because there's not enough context for them to determine if I did something wrong in it, which I didn't. Nothing's wrong in there, and it's 20 minutes long, so I think I gave plenty of context. In fact, there's over 2,000 of you who watched it. So I don't know. I'm probably, at this point, I will just take it down because there's not much I can do about it. And everybody already knows who the blower is. So anyway, this is what they suggest I do. It's really kind of interesting. They want me to re-upload it after I make changes. And then down here is the threat right here, that if I don't, guess what's going to happen to me. So I just think it's really interesting that this is what they've been doing. And it's not just me. It's pretty much anybody who mentions the name that shall not be named. Yeah. And really, we have to ask ourselves, how free is our speech if you can't just say somebody's name? Even though it's been out there and Adam Schiff's documents themselves named him. So it's not that we don't know who he is. Everyone knows who he is. That's why I'm not putting it back up again. It's not worth it, and everybody has already seen it. I'll hang on to the video. I back them all up. And maybe if I do BitChute, I'll put it up there. But right now, I'm just having a hard time getting everything uploaded for the video a day. So trying to upload everything to BitChute too is going to be just not in my near future at this point. Although I want to do it eventually, because there was one that they totally took down. And then there's this one, which is blocked. And if I don't do something about it, I'm going to get a strike. So just kind of interesting. I wanted you to see that. And of course, you know which video it is. So that's the way it works, folks. That's our freedom of speech. One of the reasons that I read through all of the Bill of Rights is because I wanted you to hear them and see them and understand just how many of them are being violated right now. There's a lot of them. And I was hoping many of you would come to that conclusion, which it appears you did, but unfortunately not too many people watched the video. So I guess that's something that they just don't want to hear too much about. But it's important because those are the rights our military have fought for, and those are the rights that make our country different from everybody else. So anyway, that's what I've got for you on this one. I want to thank you for stopping by, and I'll see y'all later.